5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, I just wanted to do a channel update today. This is my first video in a little bit. It is Christmas Day, and I've been reflecting on the past year and the upcoming year. Also seeing a lot of great content from a lot of creators recently, past few days, so I can tell that the people that are committed are really rocking it. So I just wanted to give a quick channel update and say kind of what I've been up to in the past year and what I'm planning for this year. And this video is really something I'm making more for myself than anyone else. This is a way for me to cement some of the ideas that I have and kind of get them out there, and also see if there's opportunities to collaborate and work with some of you out there. So without further ado, let's get started. So goodbye 2019 and hello 2020. Today is Christmas Day of 2019. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it, wherever you are in the world. And I want to talk a little bit about 2019 in review. So in 2019, I started the channel Work Better Together. I've uploaded 21 public videos, and that's about one video every 2.5 weeks. My initial goal was like one video a week when I first started, and that wasn't quite realistic, at least not at that time. And then I have about 21 unlisted videos. Just interesting to note that it's about the same listed and unlisted. And the unlisted are various draft projects and things that I gave a shot to, or things that I recorded and shared with somebody privately. Also interviews that I didn't want to publish to the world, or interviews that are up for review with people. It's funny when you start talking about self-management and power in organizations. A lot of stuff comes up that maybe shouldn't be out there, or maybe needs a little bit more care and attention. So what types of videos did I publish? 4 full-length presentations where I went and gave a presentation, recorded it, and published it. About 5 Q&A videos just based on questions about holacracy and self-management. And then 2 full-length interviews with other practitioners out there in the world doing various things. Some of my analytics. So on the left here, you can see that, actually, let's start with the right. So you can see that I had 4,000 impressions for people watching a video on YouTube and then seeing one of my videos. That's kind of interesting. And about 20% of my viewers came from those recommendations. Now, a lot of people would really want that to be a high value thing for them to get traffic to their channel. I don't really care that much about getting lots of traffic. This is more educational content for a very niche audience, but it's just interesting to see where those impressions came from. And in terms of the videos that were served to others, on the left you can see the Agile in the Enterprise with Holacracy. That had a lot of showing to people on YouTube. And then the Holacracy Q&A is a policy that defines a minimum blah blah blah. That was also pretty high. But that's interesting. Maybe because the word holacracy was in it, that helped. And then creating a culture of action takers presentation. That was a good presentation. And then my most recent presentation, Businesses Without Bosses, Self-Management with Holacracy. That was a big one too. And the challenge, where I first started talking about the challenge of doing remote coaching in self-management. So for 2019, my grand total revenue was $0.00, and I'm just fine with that. The goal of this channel is not to make money. It's to disseminate information and create community. So in 2020, I'm going to make a number of changes, and these are the areas that we're going to change. We have got them in a nice, boring PowerPoint format for you all to enjoy. I'm going to be changing how I'm doing the brand, the purpose of the channel, the services I provide personally, like professionally, and then on YouTube, and sort of my strategy and intentions with the channel and with my work, the content that I plan to publish. We'll touch on partnerships, and then my revenue goals for the coming year. So in changing my brand, my old brand was Work Better Together. This is the name that I came up with for what I wanted to do and how I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people work better together. The new brand is called the Effective Institute. And this is a website that I've got. It's at effective.institute. And Effective Institute is an umbrella for all of my projects, from YouTube to programming projects, presentations, consulting work, partnerships. this I think is a better brand for conveying kind of what I'm up to overall in the world, and what I hope that I can work with others on in the world. As far as changing purpose, the old purpose was to help people work better together, very simply, and you may have heard me say that on videos before, helping people work better together. The new purpose is to demystify self-management and make getting things done easier. The reason I chose this purpose is that self-management is still such a mystical, magical thing that people don't understand. And every time I talk to someone about it, they say, well, it sounds really complicated. In my mind, having done it for several years, it's not that complicated. And I think that it can be expressed in a way that's easier. Something I've said for a while is that I think Holacracy overall has a user experience problem. It's sort of like the early days of software when like we just got spreadsheets and people can use VisiCalc, but they need to know a lot to make it happen. And so Holacracy as a self-management framework gives us this amazing capability that we've never had before. And that's wonderful. And it's still very hard to use. So I think that as time passes, the framework itself is going to become easier and easier to use and understand. And one of my goals is to make it easier and demystify it so people can do it. And then as far as making getting things done easier, I also have a lot of optimizations and tools and systems that I use in my life outside of self-management, just in my personal life and my personal business life. And so I plan to make a lot of videos on those sorts of tools, and this will probably take the form of, video reviews or like tutorials on how to use a certain tool. And if you have any ideas for those, please send them my way. I know everyone says things like this. I really love it when I get connections and contacts from videos. So if you have any thoughts, send them over. As far as services, to kind of explain the sort of realms of the services that I'm offering the world, education is number one, and that's what I've been doing for the past year, and that's YouTube videos, presentations in person, presentations for private clients, just going and talking about Holacracy or self-management in general. And then products. I'm building a couple of products to assist with self-management, the first of which is called Teal Dog, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The other is a task management app that I've kind of been playing around with, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. The third service that I offer is consulting, and this just takes the form of project-based or hourly consulting around productivity, self-management, agile workflows, getting things done as a group, getting things done individually, purpose work, if you're challenged with kind of what your purpose is in life or how to orient yourself. And I also have experience with, just what it's like to be a human being, and that can involve depression and anxiety and addiction. And we talk about this self-management stuff like it's some, wonderful, magical panacea, something to strive for. And it is. And we're still human beings, and we still deal with all the stuff that it means to be human. And I don't want to lose sight of that. Another service that I plan to offer in the coming year is a framework for self-management. It's based on Holacracy, and we'll talk about that in a minute also. So how do these things generate revenue? Well, the education work, I'm planning to start a Patreon next year where you'll be able to donate to the videos. If you like a video, you can donate on a monthly basis, $1, $5, $10. I might have some higher level Patreon tiers, which if you donate at a higher level, I would like to work with you and get you involved in the production of this material, maybe guiding where the channel goes, maybe even guiding the kinds of products I develop. In a sense, you would become my boss if you donate at a certain level, and that could be interesting. As far as products, they will remain free. Teal Dog will be free. The Task Manager will be free. And those are just ways to empower people and get them sort of give people more ability in the world. Consulting work is project-based, self-management consulting, personal productivity consulting, purpose work, and so on. And then the framework will also be free. So let's talk for a minute about the products. So one of the big things I've been working on, and one of the reasons I haven't been publishing that much, is I've been working on a product called Teal Dog. And why is it called Teal Dog? Well, it's not because it sounds like Glass Frog, which is a product that Holacracy One makes. After I chose the name, I was like, oh, That sounds suspiciously similar to Glass Frog. I think Teal Dog is a good name because it reflects the Teal movement, which is about self-management, wholeness, and evolutionary purpose, and dog, man's best friend. So the goal here is to create something that goes with you, that helps you along in your journey in self-management, Teal Dog. And it lives at the website teal.dog, which is wonderful. It's a 4-letter domain name, hard to beat that. So if you want to check it out, it's in beta. You can go to teal.dog and sign up for an account. And we'll talk a little bit about what it does. But the purpose of Teal Dog is to demystify self-management and make getting things done easier. So what does Teal Dog do? Teal Dog supports self-management practice, and that's things like roles, governance, operations. It takes the form of helping to facilitate your meetings and also supporting you in daily use. It also is designed to educate users in the moment as they're doing self-management. So you're working on making a decision or trying to understand something, and you see a word you don't understand, like what is a policy exactly? Teal Dog will teach you about that in the moment. And I'm adding quizzes and videos and various sorts of features, contextual in the moment, to help people get education. It's also designed to provide a path, a journey, and a rubric for self-management. So you can start your team using Teal Dog and doing some very basic things like tracking your projects, or having your tactical meetings, or having your stand-up meetings. And as you get better at the basics, it'll help you walk and then run and then fly. So you can evaluate your organization over time. And by using the tool, it'll store metrics for you, and it'll make recommendations about what is the next best thing for you to be doing. And the overall goal of Teal Dog is to give people self-knowledge of self-management, to help people internalize it. So it's not something external or something they need help with. I would love for people to use this tool and say, oh yeah, Teal Dog, I've used it, but it's too simple for me. I know everything that's in there. If someone says that, I know they're a good practitioner. They know how to do self-management, at least at a basic level. And then maybe they move on to more complex tools and systems. The other tool I'm trying to build is a visual task manager. And this is something I've dealt with personally, is how to do task management in a way that's not painful, how to keep on track of things, on top of things. And it's really focused around some personal struggles I went through related to like ADHD type behavior, time blindness, challenges with contextualizing large amounts of information. So the goal here is to make time visible and to give tasks and projects a sense of mass, and to make recurring habits easy and realistic, and kind of take a lot of the grind out of the process. I kind of think of it as a GTD framework, getting things done without the overhead. If anyone's tried to do getting things done, man, is it a grind. Some people are just naturally predisposed to being able to hold all this stuff and do it well. And for a lot of people, it takes a tremendous amount of discipline. So how do we get people effective with, how do we give people the benefits that you get from something like GTD without all of the cognitive overhead? And that's where we get into using your nervous system more, with making things visible, making time visible, and giving projects and tasks a sense of mass. So this is more of a side project, something I'm doing for fun. Stay tuned. It still doesn't have a name. The picture is a hint as to what it might be called. But more on that to come in the future. So in terms of strategy for the next year, I plan to give away value even over personal gain, which is what I've been doing with the channel for the past year, is making content. I want to make more content that's more valuable and give more of it away. I want to create faster, shorter, simpler content, even over things that are more thorough and complete. And that the idea there is to make more bite-sized little pieces that a person can watch for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute, instead of an hour-long presentation. And then also to change behavior, even over educating through concepts. A lot of what we see in self-management is oriented around showing people ideas. Here's a principle that you can apply. But really, if you look at these change efforts, you go in and they seem fantastic, and you go do your workshop and it's inspiring and you think it's going to be great, and you go back to work and nothing changes. So how do we change behavior? Like really, in a concrete way? That's the goal of all of the work that I do, is how to change people's behavior, make their lives better, reduce their suffering in the workplace. So we want to change behavior even over, ivory tower education. And just a personal strategy is to publish now, even over publishing something better later. And anyone who's tried to really make anything in the world, it's like, when do you release it into the world? This video today, I've been working on it for about 2 hours. I've been thinking that I want to do this. I sat down with no outline, some ideas in my head, and I said, I'm not getting up until this is done. So you get to see the raw video. This is it. It's live streaming right now. This is an expression of publishing something now, even over publishing something better later. I also want to do more partnerships in the coming year. I really want to create value with others. I'm an only child, and I've been very good at doing my life alone and having the skills I need, the computer programming, the interpersonal skills, the relationship skills, and doing all of that alone. So this year, I really want to create more value with others and get up to bigger things that I can't do alone. There are a few people that I want to do partnerships with in the coming year. I'd like to do 3 to 4 partnerships of some size, some shape in 2020. And I'll mention those towards the end here. As far as a change to content, well, 2019 was all about Holacracy. If you follow my channel, you've seen many videos about the various concepts in Holacracy, kind of all told from a different angle. I've never given the same presentation twice. In fact, I've never even used the same slide deck twice. And in some ways, that's wonderful. In other ways, if you look at what Holacracy 1 is doing, they have a really effective way that they deliver their content. And so I'm kind of digressing a little bit, but 2019 was all about Holacracy. 2020 is going to be about, for the channel, it's going to be about what is videos that are just quick descriptions of a concept. What is a role? What is a circle? What does that mean? What is a policy? And then also what I'm calling understanding videos, which go a little bit deeper. The what is videos will be in the 1 minute max range. The understanding videos will be in the 4 to 8 minutes range. Still under 10 minutes for both, but to get introduced to a concept, you watch a what is, and then to get a deeper understanding, you can go into the understanding videos. I also plan to do, whereas everything's been very much about Holacracy this past year, I also plan to do reviews of tech tools, apps that I use that for me are just common knowledge, and a lot of my peers, we use Slack, we use this or we use that. But there are so many people out there that are still doing things in ways that are very slow. Some people don't even know about Google Docs. I mean, it's hard to imagine for some of us. So there are lots of little optimizations and tools and tricks that I have that I'm planning to publish videos about. And I think those will have kind of a wider appeal. We'll see what happens. I really don't want my channel to become a popularity contest, and I really get kind of disheartened when I see what some creators go through trying to figure out how to get more views and create good content. And for some people, it really grinds them down. But I hope to publish more things that are personally valuable in terms of personal productivity and not so much about organizational and group, because I think it'll be more applicable and it'll change people's behavior more concretely. So these will be best practices around tech tools and reviews and recommendations. I'm really enjoying doing some interviews. I've done some great interviews recently. If I've talked to you, you know who you are. I want to continue to do more interviews and get more material out there that involves content that I don't know about. I really don't want this to be the Jonathan show. So we'll do more interviews with different people doing self-management in different ways. And we'll continue to have an eye for concrete behavior change over the sort of more principled kind of teal stuff about, compassion and mindfulness and like what I consider to be important stuff. But when it comes down to like daily work, pretty BS. And I also hold those values internally, personally. You probably can't hear it in my voice because I'm pretty nervous right now trying to get this video done. But what I love about working with people is the emergent creativity and the it's like playing when you're young, it's like being in the sandbox and making something with someone. That's why I do this, and that's what I love. And a lot of this next generation organization stuff, I think, leans too heavily on that. And I think it can create some fairly unhealthy behaviors. And a lot of what I learned about this, about what's healthy and what's not, comes from my 4.5 years at Holacracy 1 and being really deep in Holacracy and working with an amazing team of people that all really are very self-reflective. All that to say, more interviews in 2020. So goals for 2020, I wanted to put down some concrete numbers. I intend to publish 10 what is videos, 10 understanding videos, 10 tech tool videos, 3 more presentations for groups, at least 3 interviews. And then in terms of consulting work and other work I'm doing in the world, I would like to transform at least 3 organizations, that is, have 3 teams using the principles that I teach them or that they learn. So 3 consulting clients changing the way they work, whether it's a minor agile transformation or something really major. I would also like to have 20 active users on Teal Dog per month. Currently, it's a lower number than that. And if Teal Dog can show that it's valuable in the next year, I think we can have 20 users using it. That doesn't seem unrealistic to me at all. I'd also like to have 3 monthly donors on Patreon. Going to be setting up Patreon pretty soon, so you'll be able to, if you like the content that you see, you'll be able to encourage me by passing a few bucks my way. And of course, that money will go towards supporting what I'm up to here. I don't plan to be buying any Lamborghinis or anything. My revenue goal for 2020 for the YouTube channel, again, $0. Not on YouTube to make money. This is a way to give back to people, give to the community, learn from others, and create. Just the sheer creative expression is a lot of why I do YouTube. So that's all I had for the presentation. I wanted to say thanks to a number of people. This is probably going to mess up my stream here, but let's do it anyway. So I wanted to say thanks to Topher, my main man. You helped me so much in so many ways. I really, really appreciate the time that we spent together and the work we've been doing. Bethany, thank you for supporting me and being with me. Sarah G, Nick Lombardino, you guys are awesome. Sarah, because I met her at CultureCon and we started kind of like, we shared something around some possibility. And so I really appreciate what she's done for me in terms of motivating me. And of course, like Karilen, Brian, Rebecca, Eric, Lex, Lewis, Tara, Eric G, Chris, Olivier, the whole Holacracy 1 team. All my time with you guys has been amazing, and I have so much respect for all of you. And I'm so delighted that my transition out of the organization was smooth, and that I'm still going to PTs to train and still working with people. And I did a project for Matt for the community, the community practice archive. I put that together for him. So just really, really thankful and grateful to have crossed paths with you guys, and I hope to cross paths more in the future. Also, Pavel, thanks for reaching out. Really great to get an email that says, "Hey man, love your channel." It really motivates me. Andy at Dreambank, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed presenting. I hope to do more. Chad and Jeff, thanks for being so welcoming at Agile Madison. And Jeff M, having me on the Agile Wire podcast. I really appreciate it. Again, Brian and Rebecca, thanks for having me out to the Holacracy practitioner training. That was really just a joy and like a great triumph for me to get to contribute to a Holacracy event as someone outside the organization. That was a really big deal, and I really enjoyed it. Robin, Nicole, everyone at Zander Media, thanks for having me to the Responsive Conference. That was a wonderful time, and it was so cool to be a part of such an amazing group of people that are doing responsive organization, next generation organization, education work in the world. And all the Zappos people who I met who have moved Holacracy forward and built upon it. And I really can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in terms of materials that you're going to publish with Teal Kit or whatever it is. The whole market-based dynamics thing. I kind of wish I could be a fly on the wall and be a part of the work you're doing. It's really exciting. So hope to run into you guys soon. And everyone doing Holacracy in the Netherlands and just like Holland in general, thank you. I love that country. Also, Guadalupe, Mike, and everyone at Finless. Really enjoyed working with you guys. Thank you for what you're doing, and let me know if I can help more in the future. James and Tomorrow Trust, thanks for believing in me. Looking forward to our work together. Also, of course, my mom and my dad. And Jackie, Patricia, thanks for being such an inspiration in terms of the love and light that you bring to the world and how you express it. And then looking forward, people I'm looking forward to working with, Will from Enlivening Edge. I hope we can do some very cool stuff this year. Andy Novocin, I'm really looking forward to working with you. I hope that we can do something. And Joe P, Joe B, and Sarah at RebateBus, really want to help you guys out, really want to work with you. I don't even want to use the word help. I want to see RebateBus be just a great organization to work for. And I think we can do some really great work there. Also, I know this is cliche, but it's true. I want to thank Steve Jobs and everyone that he stole from, Braun, for the Mac, for the modern smartphone, for changing like so many people's lives in the world, and orienting so many of us around a way to look at technology and usability and humanity, I guess, in a sense. Tim Berners-Lee for the web browser. I use that one every day, so thanks for that, man. And also Rob Nealon. Thanks for being such a bro all these years, and real inspiration. Ketten in San Francisco. Some of my favorite startup people that I knew from when I was living out there. Everyone I've lived with, Micah Cersei, thanks for, having a place for me and the time that we spent together. And the list goes on. So I'm sure there are more that I'm missing. But 2019 in the past, that was that. And going forward, we're looking at 2020, and just told you guys a little bit about what I'm going to be up to. This was a live stream, and I may publish the whole thing, or I also might cut it up into pieces and do a condensed version. Maybe I'll link to this version from the condensed version, so perhaps you've already seen the quick one and you're clicking through. And that's about it. Normally I would say, let's work better together. Now I'll say, let's demystify self-management. And what was the other thing? Let's demystify self-management. And I forgot the rest of the purpose. Anyway, see you guys soon. Please drop me a line, j@teal.dog. Many of you have my phone number. You can drop a comment in the description. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Pushing that share button is huge, because if you share this with like your people and 2 or 3 of them watch it, you could turn someone on to self-management and it could change their life. Okay, thanks much. Jonathan out.